In the heart of Cardinia, within the Grand Council Hall, where the royalist faction often assembled beneath towering arches and banners adorned with the king's crest, a quiet tension wove through the air like a fine haze. The chamber buzzed with murmuring nobles in their elegant attire, each carrying a mix of curiosity, disbelief, and uneasiness. At the center, the Rotania army's supreme commander sat, his face contorted in frustration. He could hardly believe it. Baron Fenris, that had actually triumphed. He defeated Count Kapali, a man famed as the master of the Iron Fortress, a bastion thought to endure for a full 100 years. Even the most veteran generals had sworn Kapali's fortress was near impossible to break. Yet, somehow Baron Fenris, young, relatively obscure, and often underestimated, had toppled it. The nobles whispered softly among themselves. One leaned forward, lightly fanning himself as he said, "I never expected Baron Fenris to show such superior military skill." His eyes stayed wide, as if still grappling with the shock. Another noble nodded eagerly, adding, "Indeed. Appearances can be profoundly deceiving." Their tones suggested less admiration for Fenris and more astonishment that their earlier predictions failed. Rosalind, who had been quiet until now, lifted her eyes. Calmly, she remarked, "Furthermore, it said Baron Fenris seized the fortress in a full-scale battle without Count Kapali surrendering." Her words drew focus. Lord Gazellin displayed remarkable skill in the Persian siege. His military strength is unquestionable. The Supreme Commander's irritation flared. His brow twitched as he snapped, "That's impossible. It was merely luck. Had the Great Famine not struck, Ghislain wouldn't have won so effortlessly." He sounded as though suggesting Ghislain's own merit was an insult. The High Judge chuckled at the commander's outburst. "Isn't it funny?" he said with a sly grin. "How you behave like. That's a problem." He shrugged lightly. In the end, what matters is Baron Fenris triumphed. Amid the noisy debate, one man stayed unusually quiet. Mark Burford, leader of the royalist faction. His calm, unreadable face stood apart from the boisterous room. After a moment more of silent watch, the Marquis finally spoke. His voice sliced through the chatter sharply. "Tullio," he said, addressing his Knight Commander standing behind him. Knight Commander Tullio answered promptly. "There's been no movement from Desmond's side, my lord." The Supreme Commander scoffed loudly. "No movement. Ha! I poured so much effort into positioning the kingdom's forces on the path to Kapali's fortress, and now it's wasted." Count Aylesbury, older and more composed, remarked, "We have gained plenty from this harvest season," hinting the political benefit alone was worthwhile. The High Judge then added, "And now that it's clear Count Kapali received backing from the Duke's family, for now it will be tough for them to step in." His voice carried a sense of satisfaction, as if the political stakes pleased him more than the battle's outcome. Hearing this, Rosalind let out a quiet sigh. She thought, if Count Desmond had acted on this, we would know he isn't a neutral noble, but instead aligned with the Duke's family faction. That answer would have clarified much. Yet Desmond's silence only deepened the uncertainty. Marquis Burford stood drawing all attention. "It's still too soon to rush judgment," he said. "With Baron Fenris's triumph, our power, the king's loyalist faction, will spread further north. Indeed, we've gained strong military might now, but the Duke's family won't just watch quietly." His tone was firm. "Always stay vigilant." Then he closed the meeting for the day. As nobles filed out slowly, Count Aylesbury murmured, "The Marquis never changes." After such a victory, he could have at least smiled. The High Judge laughed, responding, "Isn't that coldness what's kept him leading the king's loyalists all this time?" Outside the room, Marquis Burford's cloak trailed behind him as he turned to Rosalind. "You're coming too," he said simply. Just as she moved to follow, something caught her eye. She studied her father's face closely. For the first time in ages, the usual coldness had eased a little. It hit her like sunlight through clouds. He's happy, she realized, her heart lifting with warmth. Meanwhile, far north near Capaldi's fortress in Rotania, mercenaries moved quickly along the rough dirt road, horses stirring up dust. A young priestess clung to one rider, worried, her eyebrows furrowed. "Squad leader Max," she called uneasily. "Doesn't it seem too quiet for a war zone?" Max glanced around with disinterest. "Maybe Fenris's forces have already fallen." The priestess gasped, anxious. "Then what about our mission? Lady Mariel and Marquis Burford tasked us with rescuing Baron Fenris. If we come back empty-handed, I won't be able to face them." Max clicked his tongue in irritation. "Why worry over pointless worries? What can we do if the problem's Baron Fenris, who started a reckless war and couldn't hold on? The priestess tried to speak, but Max raised his hand, stopping her. That's her problem. We're mercenaries. We get paid for work done, so don't stress too much. He shrugged, trying to seem casual, though he felt a growing knot of doubt. Near Capaldi's lands, a scout called out ahead, pointing sharply. Look! They pulled up, stunned by the sight. A Gizelin knight was directing Capaldi's people to line up neatly. There's enough food for all, the knight announced loudly. No cutting in line. The new lord promises no one will go hungry for a while. Step forward and claim your portion. A ripple of surprised whispers spread among the famished crowd. They moved into lineup, eyes wide with disbelief. Upon receiving the provisions, bread, grains, and vegetables, they broke down in tears. Some dropped to their knees, overcome. I can't believe the new lord is showing us kindness, one murmured. Are those dreadful days when they took everything from us? Finally behind us, another questioned. Perhaps no more unpaid work, a third said, voice shaking. Nearby, Alfoy struggled to lift a single log. Galberic, arms folded, sneered. You're too weak. Can you even carry a single piece, right? Alo flushed with annoyance. Damn dwarf. I'm not a laborer. I was once a mage. As squad leader Max and the priestess neared, they saw folks tidying the bloodied battlefield. Max's jaw dropped. Is the war truly over? He whispered. The priestess's ears twitched on hearing. How much loot did Count Kapali stash, for heaven's sake? A knight replied. Inside the fortress, there's nothing but gold coins, artworks, and valuables. Claude practically bounced, shouting, and in the armory, advanced weapons and iron ore stocks. The priestess swallowed hard, stunned. Looted gold, this was unexpected. Sweat appeared on Max. Realization hit. Fenris had triumphed, but before he absorbed it fully, a booming voice came from behind. Strange faces appeared. They spun around and saw Galayan towering like a giant. His huge silhouette shadowed them. Max and the priestess froze fear, clutching their hearts. Galayan's glare hardened. State your name and allegiance, he demanded coldly. The view shifted to Kapali's stronghold. Galayan opened the great doors of the grand hall, revealing Gizilin standing calm and commanding at its center. Galayan led Max and the priestess inside. The visitors looked tense. Calling Gizlin, Sir Galayan declared they come from the capital. As Gizlin turned, Max felt every bit of his mercenary experience scream a warning. That presence, that aura, he thought. Years of missions taught him to gauge a man's worth by his vibe. Gizilin carried the unmistakable scent of dried blood and a stoic discipline. No doubt. This man is Baron Fenris, Gizlin asked calmly. Who are you? Max and the priestess bowed. Max spoke, voice slightly unsteady. It's an honor to meet Sir Baron Fenris at last. I am Max, sent by Marquis Burford. I came to rescue Baron Fenris by any means if he was in peril. Gizlin looked mildly pleased. I see. The Marquis helped me. But then Gizlin's face shifted. You're late. Max panicked. We rushed all we could, prioritizing this mission, but we didn't expect the war to end so fast. He nervously rubbed his hands together. We should head back before he finishes, Gizlin cut in. Where do you think you're going? Max blinked, confused. What? The war just ended, Gizlin said coolly. And we're dealing with a manpower shortage, so you'll have to work a bit. It's unrelated to our mission. Max weakly objected. Gizlin, with a serious face, said I was in danger and you didn't help. Max wanted to scream inside. We arrived after the war ended. What else could we do? Gizlin stepped closer, placing a firm hand on Max's shoulder. If your client asks about you later, I won't know what to say. His tone was politely threatening. So, wouldn't it be better if we both saved face? Max's mouth opened and closed like a fish out of water. After struggling, he muttered, All right, I get it. I'll do it. The priestess looked at him shocked. Max. Gizlin noticed her then. You're a priestess. She straightened up fast. Yes, I'm Beauty. I serve Lady Joanna, goddess of beauty and fertility. I was sent because Countess Marielle supports our sect. Gizlin recalled the sect, which shunned battlefields and impurity. Priests were scarce in the north. Even Galayan had to rely on Rayold's temple for his daughter. Sacred power was priceless. A sly grin touched Gizlin's lips. Perfect timing. Bowing gracefully, he said, My lady priestess, you must have endured a harsh journey. Beauty blushed deeply. No need for such formalities. Belinda, said Gizlin, escort the lady priestess to the site at once. Beauty blinked at the sight. Belinda and Wendy gently but firmly grasped her arms. Wait, I didn't come here to work. There are many suffering souls who need your holy gift. Belinda responded firmly. Ghislaine watched and grunted. A priestess, unexpected power. Ghislaine nodded. Indeed. I hadn't thought the king's royalists would involve the church too. Now I have freedom of movement. Then he told Ghislaine, bring that man here. The scene shifted to another part of the fortress. Ka was rolling on the floor as Lucas beat him without mercy. Other knights looked shocked. Can't believe the squad leader fell so fast, one whispered. Lucas snorted mockingly. You the master's right-hand man? Doesn't seem like it to me. Ka clenched his teeth in rage.